morning, everyone, and welcome to 8 West. We do have a guest host with us today, though not a stranger. Matt Kirkwood is here.
Well, thanks.
Welcome.
Glad to be here once again.
Yeah,
Always
we love your perspective. You know, you can give us the man side of things.
I try.
Yeah, you try. Well, it is cold out. I know that you're kind of switching hats right now because you've been, talking about weather. And, man, I feel lucky because I've been hearing about the national forecast and how crazy it's been in other places, in New York and Philly. And I feel lucky to be from West Michigan at this point.
Well, which is saying something because usually in West Michigan, we just absolutely get hammered with snow, especially this past decade, which ended up being the snowiest decade so far. But the East Coast is just taking all the storms. Some locations, such as New York, Boston and New York, have already received twice their annual snowfall. And we haven't even reached February yet.
That's so crazy. Like 6 major storms since Thanksgiving was one that jumped out at me this morning when I was listening. And I'm just like, I know that people were like, I'm sick and tired of it. That's usually what you're hearing from some of the people that live in Michigan and Wisconsin and Minnesota. But really, it's just strange how, the global changes have really dispersed it differently this year. It's
remarkable. That's really what makes the weather interesting. You never get the same type of weather from season to season. And, to be honest with you, we have missed, here in Grand Rapids, it seems like we've missed out on the heart of every major system that's come through the Great Lakes. And even with that being said, we still have 6 inches of snow depth on the ground here in Grand Rapids. But I traveled a little bit yesterday west of Grand Rapids. I'll talk about that later, but there's some areas up around Muskegon that has twice as much snow as us. So even in our little microcosm of geology here, or geography, you get changes.
We're seeing differences there, too. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, we wanted to we always love to hear from our friends, our viewers, and our Facebook friends, too.
Of course.
Very interactive. If you're not a friend of that, please join. We'd love to have you. But I wanted to show a picture that we had received from April Reed. And these are her adorable girls. They're actually wearing homemade tiaras. Aren't those pretty fancy? Well, they had a little help. There was a tiara making kit that we gave away. And it was part of the Diana celebration swag that we gave out for that exhibition, which, by the way, ends February 16th. So you want to get your tickets because they're timed tickets and they're going to be going fast toward the end of that. But April sent that and said it was a snowy day and they had made those beautiful tiaras and had a tea party.
That is so cool.
So
my daughter loves tea parties. That's a good idea. I'm always looking for ideas to get the kids away from the TV.
I know. I hear you. And you get that cool tiara and then do the tea party.
Yes.
Very good idea. So we wanted to show that. And we had another picture that actually one of our viewers snapped yesterday and posted it on our wall. It was so cute. Laura Kaspersky and her son Elliot were at the Grand Rapids Children's Museum, and that's Elliot. And he was really intent on our photographer-editor, Amanda Harper.
Yeah, I was going to say, that looks like a
She had wrote that he was really interested in kind of checking her out and wanting to push some of those buttons on that camera.
As are most guys.
Yeah, exactly. The technical aspects. It's a really great time at the Grand Rapids Children's Museum because there's a new exhibition called Izzy's World. It opens to the public today, and it centers around shapes.
Very interesting.
Squares, circles, how they're put together, how it makes nature, and then some untraditional shapes, too. So we were at the museum yesterday. We shot a story, and we're going to be airing that tomorrow. So if you are looking for something to do inside, Izzy's World is a great option.
So is the museum. Absolutely.
The museum is cool all the time, but it's nice that they change things up all the time.
I think that's the key.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, have that redundancy or, just different things for the toys to get involved or the kids to get involved with.
Yeah. My daughter has her favorites there, and we always seem to flock to the kitchen and the bubbles.
Oh, the bubbles, yeah. The bubbles. I like the bubbles.
I know, they're a lot of fun. And then with this new exhibition, it's going to be there till June, and so we're really excited to tell you about it. If you're interested in learning more about Izzy's World, make sure you tune in tomorrow. Really cool. And thanks to Laura and April for sending those pictures in. We love to hear from our viewers.
That's cool.
So you said that you were on the lakeshore yesterday.
Yeah, I did a little traveling.
What were you up to? Because you were working, right?
Yes, I was working. It's always nice to get out of the station from time to time. And yesterday afternoon, I was lucky enough to do a weather talk. I was invited up to Montague and Whitehall area to visit the school. And here's the pictures that a little over 100 first grade elementary students from one of the teachers who contacted me, Tina Bradley, Thank you so much for contacting me. This is actually the first weather talk I've done in probably a couple months, I would say, which is kind of unusual for me. But hey, I had to shake the rust off a little bit, and I hope the kids really enjoyed it. She said they did. But just basically teaching them the basics of weather and also safety with tornadoes and winter weather and also thunderstorms, what to do, where to go, and of course who to tune into.
Storm TV, of course. Storm TV. I was going to ask you that too. Exactly, what do you talk about? Do you talk about kind of how weather systems are made up, or kind of the physics behind things?
How we do our forecasting, also just the really simple basics of weather. How the sun interacts with the earth. It really depends, because I've done them for high schools, I've done them for middle school, so it really depends on the age group. That's how you structure your talk. So. That's for younger kids. You just talk about the basics, and
you want to keep it interesting. I've been there, and I've been talking to college, to little kids too, and my fear is they're going to turn out or turn away and get bored and be like, keep it very interesting.
That's my fear
very
as well.
important.
That's my fear as well. That's why I came up with a little weather game that I play with the younger kids. It gets them up there involved, and we group them together. Okay, the guys against the girls, so forth. They love it. They love it. And I think who won yesterday? I think the girls pulled it out. So congratulations to the first grade girls and was it Early Elementary School.
Very nice. Very nice.